Students, all of you welcome for the second part of conservation of plants and animal. Yes. In this lecture, we will study about conservation of forest. Conservation of forest is very important because all the biodiversity present on this earth live in forest. Okay, all green covers, forest covers are the major part of ecosystem, and all the biodiversity of plants, animals, insects, they live in forest and they survive in forest. So it is very important part of our ecosystem, and because of that, life is present on the earth. So we have to conserve the forest. So for that purpose, what we can do, which things we can apply and we can conserve the forest. So there are several factors. Let me tell you one by one. First is trees should be planted on large scale. Plantation of trees should be on large scale, and in a proper way of plantation, uh, we can do conservation of forest. We can increase the forest cover in this way. Planting of saplings is called afforestation, means planting small trees which in turn will grow into taller and bigger trees, and they will help to increase the forest cover. That is called as afforestation. Establishment forest reserves and botanical gardens. Yes, it is also very important and effective factor. Okay, we can establish more and more forest reserves by afforestation, and also we can plant botanical gardens, and we can conserve the medicinal plants, herbs into the botanical garden. Animals should not be allowed to graze on same piece of land. What happens when animal graze on same piece of land repeatedly? The fertility of that land decreases because overexploitation of the nutrients from the soil. How? When grass is growing again and again on same piece of land and animals are grazing again and again, so nutrients in the soil gets depleted, and due to that, one day that land will become barren, means non-fertile. So that should be avoided. Forest fire must be brought under control. Okay, uh, the reason for forest fire is man-made and natural also. Natural due to lightning, fire can means forest can catch fire, or due to any man-made activity, forest can catch fire. And if forest catch fire, it destroys a large cover of forest, and due to that, what happens? The diversity present in that area, the habitat of many animals are lost. Okay, so it's a huge loss. Then what we can do to conserve the forest? The effective way is awareness. Many awareness programs should be conducted by school students, organizations. Okay, we can aware people by using media like newspaper, television, internet, etc. And we can aware the people that forests are very important to us and we have to conserve it. So these are several factors. By this way we can conserve the forest. Yes, next point is Chipko movement. In Chipko movement, what was happened? There was a cutting of plant at large extent, and it was disturbing the ecological balance. So people started the Chipko movement. Okay, forests are one of the main source of livelihood in rural India. This is especially true for hilly and mountain areas. Okay, this is especially true for hilly and mountain areas because there is a lot of forest cover in such areas. The name of the movement comes from Hindi word chipko, means to embrace or to hug the tree whenever contractors are cutting the trees. So that is called as chipko movement. As the villagers hugged the trees to prevent them from falling by the contractors. So at that time people used to hug the plants. That is called as chipko movement. The people involved in chipko movement, let me tell you something about them. The first movement against falling of trees was launched by Amrita Devi of village Khejri. It is in Jodhpur. Okay. Who launched the chipko movement? It is Amrita Devi. "363 relatives and others sacrificed their lives still clasping the trees. Chipko movement took place in the village of Mandal in Upper Alaknanda Valley of Uttar Pradesh. So this is the place where Chipko movement took place in April 1973. Sundarlal Bahuguna, a Gandhian activist and philosopher, played an important role in success of this movement. Bahuguna gave the Chipko slogan, "Ecology is permanent economy." Bahuguna gave the Chipko slogan, "Ecology is the permanent economy." Means, if ecology is there, then the economy is there. Means, if this ecosystem is balanced and working well, then the life will exist on the earth. So that is the importance of this ecosystem, forest cover. Next point, conservation of biodiversity. Biodiversity is derived from Greek word bios, means life, and diversity means forms. Biodiversity, the term is used to represent different species of organism present on this earth and different forms of that same species also represented by the biodiversity. Okay, so it's simply saying variety of species available on the earth is the biodiversity. The presence of different kind of living organism, that is microorganism, plant and animal, their ecological habitat and the habitat in which they occur is also known as biodiversity. Okay, the common example you can take of dog. See, dog is domestic animal and you can see many species of dog, many varieties of the dog. So that is what it is, a biodiversity in case of dog. So likewise other organisms also show biodiversity. Diversity can be in the form of size, structure, habits, behavior, and genetic construction. Diversity is dependent on what? Size, structure, habitats, behavior, and genetic constitution. In fact, if we compare the organism present in two different habitats or regions, we may find a vast range of differences between them. Thus, biodiversity differs from place to place. Why it differs from place to place? Because different places have different environmental condition, and depending upon that environmental condition, organism adapt themselves according to the environment, and they adopt new characters in their body, so it gives rise to the biodiversity. Biodiversity comprises three types of diversities: genetic diversity, species diversity, community diversity. Okay, so diversity is decided and dependent upon these three factors: genetic diversity and species diversity, community diversity. And these are the three types of diversities, and which actually results to the biodiversity present today. The first, genetic diversity. Genetic variation found amongst members of same population and geographically separated population of the same species is a genetic diversity. So what genetic diversity defines: variations found amongst members of same population but geographically separated population of same species. So the group of population is same, but some of the members are separated due to geographical location, and due to geographical location, new characters are developed into the organism that give rise to the biodiversity. Next is species diversity. The diversity include the whole range of organization found in the total number of species. Okay, so species diversity varies amongst the whole population in the group, and it's a whole range of organization in the group. Next is community diversity. The range and variety of biological communities and ecosystem in which the communities operates. Means range and variety of biological communities and ecosystems in which communities operate. It operates in this ecosystem. They are part of ecosystem. Okay, so all range and variety of biological communities and ecosystem in which community operates. So they are dependent upon each other and they operate depending upon the ecosystem. It means that biodiversity is given rise by these three diversities. First is genetic diversity, species diversity, and community diversity. First diversity is at gene level, genetic material level. Second is at species level, that species of variety developed due to diversity, due to the geographical condition. And okay, community diversity, it's a diversity at the upper level, at higher group level, okay, in which whole group of species included which have variety, lot of variety, and that operates with ecosystem. Okay, so community diversity. So what forests are? Forests are biodiversity hotspots. Means in the forest we can find the greatest biodiversity. Means it is called as hotspot. Next point, causes of extinction of wildlife. Now we'll study what are the causes of extinction of wildlife. First is destruction of habitat. If habitat is destructed, then easily the population of living organism is destructed. Next is environmental pollution. Environmental pollution means whatever the pollution is increasing today day by day due to human activity. Because of that, the natural habitats, forest covers are destroyed, and due to various species of organisms and plants are destroyed. Third, deforestation causes decrease in reproductive power and loss of habitat. Yes, obviously, decreasing forest cover decreases the productivity, decreases the reproductive capacity. Okay, uh, if the forest covers are decreased, then they are not able to fulfill the basic need of food of animals and organisms living in the forest, and in such way reproductivity is decreasing and there is a loss of habitat, and due to loss of habitat organisms are also destroyed. Soil erosion. If forest covers are decreased, then there is no root to hold the soil, and due to that this loose soil washed off by flowing water or air, wind, storm, and the topped soil, which is very fertile, that is lost. Agricultural expansion. Now, as human population is increasing, there is an increasing need of food, and to fulfill the need of food, we need more and more agriculture. For agriculture, we need land, and to make available the land, forests are cut down, and due to that, if forests are cut down, then there is a total imbalance of ecosystem. Overgrazing. Already I have explained that how overgrazing is responsible for desertification. Animals graze on same piece of land. Grazing means eating grass. Same piece of land. And if again and again repeatedly grass is eaten on same piece of land by animal, then the nutrients of the soil are depleted, exhausted, and then that soil becomes non-fertile, and once soil becomes non-fertile, anything is not able to grow on that soil, and then it becomes non-fertile land. Increasing urbanization. Forest fire due to human activities, that is also destroying the ecosystem. Developmental works like dam, urbanization is also destroying the forest covers. These are the several factors which is destroying the nature. Next point, extinct. Now, due to destruction of ecosystem, destruction of nature, the species of animals which are very rare, very specific, very unique, they are getting extinct. Some are getting endangered, some are getting vulnerable. So the examples of those animals I have given over here. Let us study these concepts. Next is extinct organisms. An organism or species is considered extinct when there is no reasonable doubt that its last individual has died. Means all the living organisms of that species are died, and that species is not present or do not exist on earth now. They are totally destroyed. Is called as extinct species of organism. Now the extinct species are the part of history. These animals are not found on the earth because they are all killed. For example, some extinct animals and bird species are dinosaurs, woolly mammoth, pink-headed duck, and dodo. So, few images I will show you of extinct species. The most recent plant extinction is that of Helena olive. Okay, it was declared extinct in December 2003 when the last surviving seedling died. So it is just the recent case of extinct species of plant. These are the extinct animals. This is dodo and this is pink-headed duck. They are extinct now and do not found on the earth. All the individuals of these species are killed. Extinct in the wild. Now these are the species which are extinct in the wild, means they are extinct only in the wild, means they are not present in the forest. They are finished from forest but are conserved in some national parks and sanctuaries. Okay, so that is called as extinct in wild. Under protection they are present in very few number, but in natural habitat they are absent, is called as extinct in the wild. A species is considered extinct in the wild when it is known to survive only in cultivation, captivity, or an artificial ecosystem. So they are kept in artificial ecosystem and they are absent in natural habitat. The exhaustive surveys is known or expected habitats fail to record these individuals. Some examples of species that are extinct in wild include Barbary lion, black soft-shelled turtle, Hawaiian crow, escarpment cycad. Okay, these are the extinct in wild. Means they are not present in the forest, but they are in artificial environment like zoo parks and laboratories under control. Okay, that is extinct in wild. This is the example of extinct in wild Barbary lion. Now it is not present in natural habitat. Threatened species. The living species which have been greatly reduced in their number. There are three main categories of this threatened species. Threatened species means organisms are present in the forest, but they are present at very less extent. Very less number of this organism is present in the forest. It's called as threatened species. And there are three categories of threatened species. First is endangered species. The species whose number have been reduced to critical level and which are about to become extinct are called as endangered species. Point to be noted that the organisms they are present very in a critical number, very few number, and they are just to become extinct, is called as endangered species. Example of endangered species of animal in Satpura National Park is lion, elephant, wild buffaloes, Barasingha are the endangered species. They are present in very less numbers, very critical number. Image of Barasingha you can see is endangered species. Example of endangered species in India. Okay, now specifically in India, which species are endangered, that we'll study. Bentinca nicobarica. Bentinca nicobarica is a plant. Then Ailurus fulgens is also a endangered animal. Red panda it is called as. Then Indian elephant, crocodile, blue whale, musk deer, Indian bison, white-winged duck, yellow-eyed penguin, the Mexican cactus, and the Malaysian slipper orchid, okay, are the endangered species in India. See, one of the endangered species I have given, this is a bison. Next, vulnerable species. The species whose population are abundant at present but they may become endangered in the future are vulnerable species. Means right now the population, considerable population of such organism is there, but in future they will become endangered and extinct. So that is called as vulnerable species. Example is golden langur, leopard cat, okay, leopard cat, black buck, etc. Here I have shown you the image of golden langur is a vulnerable species. Now the considerable population is present, but in future they may become they may become endangered and then extinct. Rare species, the species which are very less in number and confined in a specific area is called as rare species. Okay, rare species means the species which is very present in a less number, and it is only found in a specific geographical location. Only in that geographical location that type of organism is found, and nowhere else on the earth. This is called as rare species. So some of the examples are given: slow loris, wild yak, gharial, etc. are the rare species. You can see the picture of slow loris. This is a rare species. Thank you. If you have any doubt, you can ask on WhatsApp group. Thank you.